Oh my God. When are we gonna learn? When are we going to learn? Listen, there's a lot that we gotta talk about. There's definitely so much we have to talk about. And I'm gonna start with the fact that first of all, welcome to the channel, people. It's a tough day being a Chelsea fan, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna unpack everything. We're going to unpack everything from the mentality of the players, the coach, or the coaching staff. We're going to talk about obviously the red cards, which goes back to the mentality of the players. We're going to talk about in game management. We're going to talk about individual performances. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about where we are as a club and where we are going. Because at this moment in time, there's just so much that we need to unpack that has not been spoken about. And I think it's time we talk about it. Now, Chelsea won, Brighton 3. Listen, I'm going to be a little bit biased here because I'm angry. I'm angry. And I have to say, I'm angry with Chalaba. I'm definitely am angry with Chalaba. But at the same time as well, is he the only one that we should be angry about or we should be angry on? I don't think so. I think there's much more to the club that we are not talking about. Now let's talk about the match for a second. First half, I looked at the lineup. All right, let me put the lineup here for a bit so we can see what I'm talking about. The lineup was exactly as I thought it would be. I was hoping to see Jero Heto playing as a left center back. I was really hoping for that. And the lineup did not disappoint me. And I think with that lineup, you didn't need Cole Palmer to win the game. All right. You've got Rhys James playing as a right back. You've got Chalobah and Jero Heto as your center backs and Kukrel as a left back. In the midfield, you've got Santos, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez, Esteval, Pedro, and Neto. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez was being played as a 10 today. Again, we're going to talk about that because I don't think. Listen, okay, we'll talk about Enzo Fernandez when we get to the individual performances in a second. But this lineup here, 3 yellow cards and 1 red card. Now, I don't really give a shit about the yellow cards, but the red card for me, this has to stop. This has to stop because we're not going anywhere. Performing and playing like this. And the unfortunate part about it is we were actually in control of the game in the first half. We were in control of the game until we got the red card, which, again, it happened as well in the United game. We're not in control, I get that, but 11 versus 11, we could have won that game against United. By the way, they lost to Brentford today. So are you telling me that these players don't have the discipline to go out with this squad playing Brighton at home and we can't win? This lineup for me was good enough to win the game today. I know Cole Palmer is out, Colwill is out, Fofana is out, Tosin was out, but this lineup was good enough to go to play at Stamford Bridge against Brighton and actually pick a win. Now, first half, we played really, really well. But there's something that was telling me that we needed to score another goal for us to feel safe. Every time Chelsea score a goal, they relax. I do not understand that. Why do we score goals and then we just went to bed? Why? We do this every game. When we were 1-0 up, I was talking while I was watching the game and I was like, we need to score another one because I could sense a draw and even a loss coming. Sorry, a loss coming. First half, played really well. But it wasn't enough to secure the win. You don't go 1 up and then relax. You need more goals. Goals wins you games. You understand? All right. Second half, we were not bad. We were in control of the game. I think the whole first half, Brighton didn't even have a shot on target. We had about 4 shot on targets. We were playing really, really well. At least to my view, we were playing really well until the red card. Now, when it comes to the red card, I do blame Chalobah. Of course, I have to blame him because the same way I blame Sanchez, you should know better as a defender. Now, is it the same situation with Sanchez where we said you should have let him score and then we go back again? Maybe not. So him getting into the challenge, I didn't have much problem with that. But we need to stop getting red cards every fucking time. I don't know how many times I have to say, please behave yourself. Stop getting red cards. We've got players like Caicedo, Cucurella. Them players, they never go a match without getting a yellow card. Now, I'm okay with yellow cards as long as you can control it. But red cards, we lost points to United because we got given a fucking red card in the first 5 minutes of the game. We lost to this game today because we got given another red card. Why do we keep doing this? Now, listen, I'm no one to stand for Maresca every time, but I have to stand with him for this one. What did you expect the man to do? For the past, the game against United, we blamed him for his substitute that he made. He freaked out, he panicked, he took out all our attackers. Today, I think he did quite all right, considering we were 1 goal up. He did okay in terms of his substitute. However, the players let him down. Now, this is a message again to the board. The players you're buying for us, they are not mature enough. I don't see Virgil van Dijk doing stuff like this. I don't see Mark Gay doing stuff like this. Now, I'm not even saying Chalobah is not a good player. I love Chalobah. And today, of course, I have to still blame him, but I understood where he was coming from. He had to at least do something, whether that was stupid or not. But this goes back to the board. You're not giving us experienced players. That's why we are suffering in games. Like I said, I don't see Mark Gay doing stuff like this. I don't see Virgil van Dijk doing stuff like this. You're so focused in buying players which you can flip for profit later on. It's not getting us nowhere. It's not getting us anywhere. We need to start. When Colwill got injured, that should have been enough alarm for you to go and get me another center back. Now, again, I'm not saying my center back are shit. I'm just saying I need experience. I need players that don't lose their heads every fucking time things don't go their way. Come on, man. We can't keep doing stuff like this. We cannot. All right. Let's go to the individual performances, right? Let's talk about individual performances. Let's start with Rhys James. I thought he played well. I don't have a problem with what Rhys James did today. I thought he played quite all right. Was that one a penalty? I thought it was a penalty, at least, or maybe I'm just biased enough. I wanted to win so bad. I wanted them to give us a penalty, but I thought it was a penalty. In my view, it was. It looked like a penalty. So I thought Rhys James did well. Trevor Chalobah. Listen, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Why? Because of the red card. Before the red card, Trevor Chalobah actually played really well. And he's the kind of player that normally holds himself to accountable and actually does better. But today, that red card, I mean, I don't like to talk about individual performances so much because there's so much to it. Before the ball even go to Chalobah, there had to be a mistake made in the midfield. There had to be a mistake. So Chalobah did what he had to in that circumstance. But do I support I don't support it. Jero Hertel, I was crying for this guy to be played as a left center back because that's his natural position. And I have to say he played really well. Now, when you get given a red card, it changes the whole dynamic of the substitute. It changes the whole dynamic of the players. It does change the whole dynamic of the system as a whole. So then he ended up getting substituted. And some of the challenges he was going into, it was because he was so much under pressure because we were 1 man down. And I don't blame him fully. I understood that shit. Cucurella, I thought he played well. Listen, I have to listen. I'm contradicting myself to some degree here because I actually think my players played well. Obviously, those goals, those were really good goals. But I don't think if we were playing 11v11, those goals were going to come because Brighton were literally nothing before that red card. Let's move on to Santos. I have to give my boy credit. So much credit. I love the kid. I think the kid has got, so much brighter future. I understood the fact that they had to send him on loan to Strasbourg. I never watched him, by the way, when he was playing in Strasbourg. But Santos is a really, really, really good player. This guy has got a future behind him. Actual fact, right? I was saying, don't put Enzo Fernandez, put Odre Santos, because he's much of a better player so far, from what I can see. Better than Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo. Do we have to talk about Caicedo? We don't have to talk about Caicedo. I don't care whether he had a shitty game today or shitty game last week. Caicedo is a good player. And we're not going to talk about that, are we? We're not going to talk about that. Enzo Fernandez, again, I keep saying you get all these assists and goals, but you are not playing well. And that's the reason why I keep saying I do not believe in GA all the time. Sometimes it can be biased. Now, don't get me wrong again. I want my players to score goals. I want my players to be able to have assists, to be able to have goals. But at the end of the day, you also have to provide something within the in-game play. Because some of these assists might come from a corner. Some of these assists might just come from a random. I like to watch my player play so I can actually judge them. Enzo Fernandez, you've been dog shit for the last couple of games. Yes, of course, you've been getting these goals and assists. I get that. And thank you for giving us these goals and assists, but you need to do better in your in-game play. Could it be because maybe you're not a natural 10 where you were being played today, but then again, you're also still a box-to-box midfielder. You should be able to tackle those fucking challenges when they come to you. So I'm not happy with Enzo Fernandez as I'm speaking right now. I'm not. I've watched Enzo Fernandez long enough to know that he can be a good player. Actual fact, he is a good player. All right. I'm not questioning his quality. I'm just questioning his momentum. His quality, we already know what Enzo Fernandez can do. I'm questioning his performances as of recent. Pedro Neto, again, don't know, man. All you've been doing was just whinging. Hey, Pedro Neto, you're not doing shit. You're just whinging. Every time you get the ball, you're supposed to take on your man and actually create something out of nothing. Why don't we give Gittens or Garnacho at least a chance to play? Because Pedro Neto ain't cutting it. He's not. He's not cutting shit. João Pedro, listen. This guy, I said it many times. Now, I understand why he's being played as a 9. I understand why we're playing João Pedro as a 9, but I don't want to see him as a 9. I do understand that Dilep is injured, Jackson is gone. So, yes, of course, we don't have a natural 9. So, we got to play João Pedro. But I don't like him as a 9. This guy, he should be on the ball oftentimes than he is being. This guy should play as a 10, as a winger. I don't care. Play him as a left back. He should be on the ball quite often than he is. He is not on the ball enough. He's got so much quality on the ball than off the ball. He's got so much quality both on and off the ball. But you can get more of him if you use him more on the ball than off the ball. That's why we need to play him as a 10. Now, I understand why he's being played as a 9. Because we don't have Delap, we don't have Jackson, we don't have... Why are you not using McGill then? You call McGill from Sunderland because Jackson had gone. Why? First of all, why did you let Jackson go then? Why did you call back McGill if you're not gonna use him? You could have stayed at Sunderland and actually play games. You could have actually get more game time and actually come to Chelsea, much better player. But no, you said that you wanted to call him back. Now you called him back, but you don't fucking use him. What is the point? What's the point? There's a bit of bipolar and schizophrenic within our directors. Why are you keep making these decisions and keep contradicting yourself and keep putting players in a shitty position? McGee could have been some example of like Audrey Santos. You send him on loan, he gets game time, he play. You called him back to Chelsea, but you don't use him. I don't want to see João Pedro as a 9. Play him as a 10. Put McGee as a 9. When Jalap comes back, he can take his position back. And why did you let it? Fucking hell. Esteval. He's an 18-year-old. What more else am I going to ask from him? I thought you played well. Of course, with Esteval, there are moments where you can see that he's immature. He's only 18 years old, but how much pressure can we put on a kid? How much pressure can we put on Esteval right now? We can't put much pressure on him. We just have to let him be. I thought he played well. But then again, the bar is really, really, really low. There is no question that he's a fucking, what's the word? He's a good player. But how much more can you ask from a kid? How much more? You can't ask a lot. Sanchez. Listen, when it comes to Sanchez, man, I've given up already. Like there's nothing I'm gonna say. It is what it is. He's always gonna be Sanchez. I thought today he played well. I thought it was one of his best games, actually. He actually played well because the goals, I don't actually blame him for the goals. They were too good. Wolbe get too much space in the box. Oh, first of all, before I cut this video, right, before I end this live stream, I want to talk about the fact that we are so obsessed, this obsession with playing from the back. Why do we have this obsession about playing from the back? Every time, play from the back, play from the back. The third goal, we didn't need to concede that goal. But no, we have this obsession where we need to play from the back. Like we have to play from the back. You're one man down. Of course, they're gonna pile up the box more than your players. And they're chasing to win the game. So what the fuck are you playing from the back for? Seriously, this is just pissing me off even. Fucking hell, man. Anyway, man, so where do we go from here is the question. Where do we go from here? Where do we actually go from here? I don't know. We are playing shit in the Champions League. Carabao Cup, we were playing like shit. FA Cup haven't even started. I don't even know what we're going to be doing in the FA Cup. And at the same time as well, in the Premier League, we're playing like shit. This was the game that we were supposed to win. Why? Because Liverpool just dropped points. Arsenal is playing Newcastle. Of course, there's a chance they might drop points on there. We needed to win this game. And we were in control in the game. We were actually in control until the red card. Take us out of the title race. We're not in the title race. But however, I still want us to put good performances because now I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. Anyway, people, listen. I'm gonna cut this live now. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and like the video, and then I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, man. Peace. I'm out.